Hello, beautiful bookish people. My name is Hannah, and today we are reacting to celebrity favorite books. What are celebrity favorite books? And we're going to analyze their psyche, what they want you to think of them.
Yep, that's me.
Because as we know, your favorite books really are an insight to who you are as a person. Are you nice? Are you friendly? Do you want to be perceived as nice and friendly? If you do, you're going to pick a Jane Austen. If you want to be perceived as intellectual, you are going to pick a Faulkner 100% of the time. Like, anybody who says Faulkner is their favorite book, I'm sorry, I don't trust you. You want to be perceived as intellectual, and that's that. But before we get started, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is, hold on, do you hear that? That's right, nothing. We got the smoke alarm fixed. Yeah, so for the last like 5 videos, we've had to change our smoke battery. I don't know how to do it. I was waiting on my dad, guys. But here's some lovely comments. Girl, I think your smoke detector battery needs to be changed. Love this video, but please tell me you replaced the battery in your smoke alarm. Hannah, the smoke detector, please, queen, I'm begging. I'm so sorry. New scandal. Hannah smoke detector bleep 3 video takeover of 2021. I honest to God did not think anyone would notice. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry I put you through that. I am, from the bottom of my heart, did not think it would last that long. But we're here, we're new, and we're ready to judge celebrities' favorite books, what they want you to think about them, and we're gonna call them out if they're pretentious. So, all right, let's get started. First one is up. Anna Kendrick. Her favorite book is All Quiet on the Western Front, Slaughterhouse-Five, and the Things They Carried. They're classics because they're freaking classics. Anna, you had a crush on your history teacher, for sure, and he was definitely married and 35, and you're like, I'm going to impress him with all of my favorite books and talk to him about Kurt Vonnegut. That's what I perceive from you. Next, Bill Murray. Well, my favorite author is Mark Twain. He's smart and funny. Huckleberry Finn! Okay. I don't know if this is controversial, but I truly think we as a society have moved past Mark Twain. Like, I do not think we need to teach him in schools anymore, because the point of Huckleberry Finn is basically like, what? Black people have feelings too? And I do think we've past that conversation. I think there are way better books. Like, we could be bringing in Toni Morrison in high school. We could be bringing Tiffany D. Jackson and Angie Thomas, talking about systematic oppression, systematic racism. So either Bill Murray, 50 years too late on this conversation, or he wants to be perceived as woke. And in my opinion, this is fake woke.
And
Bill Murray, I didn't trust you to begin with, but now I'm very wary. Emma Watson, Le Petit Prince. Should I know this book? Petit Prince? Huh? Her favorite book is a watch. Oh, it's The Little Prince, but in French. Oh, Emma Watson, that's so frustrating, because like, if you had just said The Little Prince, I would have trusted you. I would be like, we are friends, we are clearly allegorical thinkers. Sorry, roast me. What does that say about my perception of myself? But because you said it in French, you were pretentious. There's no way around that. Why would you not just say The Little Prince? Did you read it in French or something? That is a level of extra that I never seek to be. And I'm extra. I love to go all the top and all this stuff. But if you were saying, what is it? Le Petit Prince instead of The Little Prince? Like, screw you. I'm being really judgmental right now, and this is a side that you have never seen, but like, it's always been there, guys. Michelle Obama, Song of Solomon. See? This is what I'm saying. This is the answer that Bill Murray wanted to give about his perception of himself. Like, I'm woke, but Michelle Obama is actually woke because she's recommending Toni Morrison. See, we've passed Mark Twain, but Toni Morrison is still here and thriving, and we need to give her respect. Just like Michelle Obama. Honestly, 10 out of 10. I love Michelle Obama. Trust you. I trust you with that book recommendation. Honestly, I would trust Michelle Obama with a lot, but especially books. Next, Kit Harington. I think that's Game of Thrones guy, but I don't know, I didn't watch it. And well, my favorite book is 1984 by George Orwell. I literally almost said 1989, which tells you how my brain is working right now. But if 1984 is your favorite book, you are telling me you're depressed without telling me you're depressed. You know what I mean? You just want to know the message. That's what's 1980, 1984. 1989 is something else. I don't have too much to complain about Orwell, but if you think that George Orwell invented the dystopian, you are very mistaken and only want to be perceived as a deep thinker, because Orwell is not the first. It really does all depend on your interpretation though. That one's tricky. The Bible. Love God. Then you mix that, bro, you are all over the place. You have Art of War, The Prince, and the Bible. Are you a politician? Should I know who you are? Because that just screams politician. He's like, I'm a strategist with conservative values, but I also believe in science with this origin of the species. Wait, what? We have Darwin, Art of War, The Prince, Machiavelli, and Darwin. And Gulliver's Travels? What is going on? All your books contradict each other, sir. Do you know that? That leads me to believe that you haven't actually read all of these except for the Spark Notes. Boom.
Roasted.
James Franco. If you want to be perceived as intellectual, you are going to pick a Faulkner 100% of the time. Like, anybody who says Faulkner is their favorite book, I'm sorry, I don't trust you. You want to be perceived as intellectual. And that's that. Are you kidding me? Did I not say if someone's favorite book is Faulkner, they want to be perceived as intelligent? And that screams James Franco. Daniel Radcliffe, I've never heard of your book. I'm gonna skip over you because I can't be judgmental. Dolly Parton! The little engine that could. Guys, that is the most Dolly Parton answer I've ever heard. And it's actually very endearing because it's like, Dolly Parton is all about putting your bootstraps on, getting things done as fast as you can. And like, I'm sure she thinks that this book can apply to everyone, and like, newsflash, it kind of can. Its message is timeless, just like Dolly Parton. I will never roast Dolly Parton. She is an angel. She is God's gift to earth, and when this woman dies, I'm not being dramatic. I die. Zoe Deschanel. Supposedly fun thing I'll never do again. A book of essays. Zoe? If a book of essays is your favorite book, Again, you are trying to be pretentious. You are just pretentious. You are trying too hard, and you need to check your hipster complex. We're talking about favorite book. Like your favorite essay is another story, honey. You're trying too hard. You are trying too hard.
Boom. Roasted.
Alec Baldwin. The Phantom Toll Booth? That was a reaction of joy. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting an Alec Baldwin redemption arc, because that is the perfect book to tell me that is your favorite book. It's not pretentious. It's a children's book that clearly has messages for all ages. We can interpret them in new ways as your adult life progresses, and it's also wholesome and cute. Like, wow. Oh yeah, Chelsea Handler, the Fountainhead. I don't trust anyone who has said they've actually read The Fountainhead and understood it. The vibe that I get when someone says they love Ayn Rand is that they are a new feminist wanting to be perceived as a feminist. But they're a feminist who hasn't done their homework. They just went off the first book that they saw on Google with The Fountainhead being like, oh, Ayn Rand is a classic. We can talk about Anthem. If Anthem was your favorite Ayn Rand, that is a different story. But Fountainhead is endless monologues of gibberish. Either you haven't read it, or that's the only feminist book you have read.
Boom. Roasted.
Jennifer Lawrence, The Catcher in the Rye. Okay, Catcher in the Rye is a controversial book, for sure. A lot of people deem it as a red flag book. If it is your favorite book, they consider it a red flag. But it's a lot of like 1984. Depending on how you interpret it, depending on what kind of discussions you want to have with Catcher in the Rye, it's fine. It's not a red flag if Catcher in the Rye is your favorite book, but identifying with Colden Hoffield, that is the red flag. And it's a distinction that I think we as a society need to acknowledge, because Catcher in the Rye, solid. It's about adolescence, people not understanding you, being through this like transitional period and nobody listening, which I truly think is a universal experience. But the way that Holden Caulfield goes about it, being like, I am God's gift to man, how come nobody likes me? The original incel. So if you identify with Holden, you need to do some life reflecting. Oh, Louis, oh, this guy. Should I even include him? Okay, I'm only gonna include him because like, this list is all over the place. We have The Great Gatsby, we have The Grapes of Wrath, we have Crime and Punishment, Slaughterhouse-Five, Catcher in the Rye, Heart of Darkness, and The Chronicles of Narnia. Like, bro, what this list is telling me is you have not picked up a book since the 10th grade. And the vibe is you didn't even read them in the 10th grade.
Boom. Roasted.
Am I being too harsh? Am I being too harsh? Not on this guy, because you suck. You actually do suck. Anne Hathaway, The Secret Garden is a soft spot for gardens, and I'm always going off to see if I can find locked doors inside of them. That is a great answer, Anne Hathaway. If The Secret Garden is your favorite book, will you be my friend? It's a childhood book, and like the way that she is interacting with it, it's obviously influenced her life a little bit. She's thought about it a little more deeply. This is a solid choice, Anne Hathaway. I'm so impressed. How does she want to be perceived? How does Anne Hathaway want to be perceived? If your favorite book is The Secret Garden, you want to be perceived as lighthearted, kind, and that you've grown in the last 2 years. That's what that's giving me, and honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. Who would have thought? Anne Hathaway, we love you. Shawshank Redemption, interesting. It's true that Stephen King writes about human psychology and digs into the darkness, but there's also a sort of beauty and liberation in his story. Shawshank Redemption is my favorite. Okay, I love anybody who loves horror, unless it is It by Stephen King, but Shawshank Redemption, is a pretty solid choice, I would say, for Stephen King. It's different, it's out of the box, it's not Misery, it's not Pet Sematary. So she's done her research, and anybody who wants to talk about psychology through the lens of horror, I want to be friends with, because like, you sound pretty cool. Like, this gets like an A+ for me. Woody Allen, The Catcher in the Rye. You identified with Holden Caulfield, and that's that on that.
Boom. Roasted.
So yeah, this was just this fun little video that I wanted to judge celebrities on their favorite book, but like also, who am I? I did get a BA in English, but also who am I? I'm reading like literally lesbian Jane Austen fan fiction right now. So in order to balance the world, I will tell you a couple of my favorite books, and you can roast me in the comments. Go full ham. I'm talking smoke detector levels of roasts, okay? I'm ready for it. My favorite book of all time is the book The Places No One Knows. And I'll just give you probably my favorite book of this year, Know My Name. So, what am I trying to tell you about my perception of reality? What am I trying to convince you I am? Tell me in the comments, let me know. Roast me. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just a fun time talking about celebrities' favorite books. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day and keep reading and all that jazz. Bleep 3 videos takeover of 2021. I have to say that one over because I screwed it up. It's like, if you just read 1989. Oh my gosh, I can't. Taylor Swift is too much on my brain. It's up in the air. I don't know if I trust Jennifer Lawrence, actually. That's the title of this video. Do you know you can't catch me? And in my ride sport too. Vroom, vroom. John Hamm. Don't know that book. Share. I wish I knew your favorite book.